Congratulations, your resume did the trick. You've got the job interview. Well, before you go out and buy a new house or a new car, let's ace that interview. How do you do it? I want to give you a few tips. For starters, realize what the interview is about. They know you have the base level of credentials, so you don't have to sit there and say, well, I graduated from high school in such and such year, and then I started college. Don't give the chronology. Tell them what's interesting about you. In part, they're trying to figure out, is this a human being we want to have to sit next to for the next 5 years? Is this someone we want to have coffee with in the coffee room in the morning? You need to be likable. So show up on time. Be pleasant. Be well-dressed. Be professional. It doesn't mean going out and buying a $10,000 suit, but you do want to look your best and appropriate for that job. Next, you've got to think about what to say. They say, so tell me about yourself. Don't just say, well, I graduated from college. Be interesting. Tell them specific examples, specific stories about what you've done in previous jobs that's relevant to them. The key word, them. Talk about yourself as it relates to them. Now, it is a job interview. You do have to talk about yourself. It's not quite the same thing as a date, but some of the principles do apply. Talk about how you can bring value to their business, to their organization. That's what they care about. Talk about how something you read on their website about them is relevant to specific experiences you had in your previous job or your current job or your college internship. Be specific. One of the biggest blunders most people make is they're too general. They're too abstract. Well, I'm good at managing people, and I've raised funds, and I am good at problem solving. What does that mean? Don't tell people you're good at problem solving. Tell them one specific problem you solved. It doesn't mean that you have to have solved the U.S. budget crisis. It could be as simple as there was a fundraiser for your college, and everyone else fell away, and you had to be in charge of raising $1,000 in 2 days, and somehow you did it. Might not seem like a lot, but giving one specific example of the people you called, what you had to do, the strings you had to pull to make an event happen, that can be more memorable. The biggest problem for most of us when we're in job interviews, it's not that we made a mistake. It's not that we spilled coffee all over the person who was interviewing us. It's not that we said something stupid or foolish or racist or sexist. The number one problem for you? You don't leave any impression at all. So you've got to spend some time thinking about how are you going to define yourself? What's interesting about you? What's the most interesting thing that you've ever done? It might not even be related to work, but something that shows who you are, that you're courageous, whether you went mountain hiking or you went on a cross-country bike trip. What about you is different, is interesting, that shows that you have talents? Give specific examples. Be specific. And remember, it's still a conversation. So ask someone, ask the person who's interviewing you questions. Comment on something you see on the person's desk. So if you see a picture on someone's desk who's interviewing you, and it's a picture of that person water skiing, and you water ski, hey, here's your chance to talk about water skiing. Create common bonds. That can be very helpful in a job interview. Now, ultimately, in most jobs, it's not about just the good old boy system and people liking you, but that can warm people up to listening to you more carefully. The number one thing you've got to make sure that happens is that person has a clear-cut sense of the outcomes you can create for them. So it's not about, I was Phi Beta Kappa and I was this. Tell people how you can create outcomes for that business, that organization, for their clients, their customers. Make it crystal clear how you can add value. That's your number one goal in a job interview. And to come across as likable, interesting, and someone people want to have around the office every day.